you ready, Miss Spencer? Okay. Wait. Okay. So, in this class, if we had a full classroom of our 21 classes or students in our class, 3 out of every woman in this class and 1 male would have experienced some kind of rape or sexual assault in their lives. So you notice how there's 2? I'm the 3rd one. I'm the 3rd woman who's experienced some kind of rape and sexual assault in their lives. Thank you guys. You can sit down. Okay. So that was my official name. So statistics don't lie. When it comes to the amount of girls and boys who have had some sort of sexual encounter before they leave high school is horrendous. The solution is simple: educational awareness and prevention. So in high school, sex, rape, and sexual assault are dirty words, but the statistics don't lie about how much rape and sexual assaults occur before college. Sex, rape, and sexual assaults should not be a dirty word. In high school, every kid is like, oh, sex, oh yeah, let's go have sex, yeah. But they don't realize what they're doing in their actions isn't right. So there's a study done, more than 1,000 students from 7th to 12th grade, girls, stating that 10.5% of high school girls and 4.2% of high school boys reported that they've been forced to have sex. That is 1 in 8 high school girls claiming that she was raped in high school. 1 in 8. So we have about, I'm gonna go with 10. So that's 1.5 women in this class who have possibly reported that they've been sexually assaulted or raped before they leave high school. That's ridiculous. So from the same study, it shows that 18% of teens reported being sexually abused in their relationships. That's what happened to me. I was sexually abused in a relationship, and I had no idea. But I'll get to that in a second. 12% of teens admit they've been 60% of high school boys find it acceptable to force sex on girls in some circumstances. When is it okay for men to force sex? It's not, especially in high school when they should know better. Only half of high school rape victims have told anyone about it. So it's 1 in 8. So that's half. That's only half. So what would it be? 2 in 16, from the spectrum, whatever. Speech comp major, not math major. So on to my next point. 44% of sexual assaults happen before college. That's almost half. That's almost half. So out of the 100% of people who've been raped or sexually assaulted, less than half of them, just a little bit less than half of them, have been raped or sexually assaulted before they left high school, before they turned 18. The Huffington Post also says, and yet secondary schools, by which I mean parents, teachers, coaches, administrators, supervisors, boards, PTAs, remained woefully unprepared and irresponsibly reluctant to act on this information. Their reluctance is significant to blame for the current debacle of college sexual assaults. And the USAnews.com also says secondary school educators are unsure and ill-trained when it comes to handling allegations that one student has assaulted another, which they are legally required to report to the police. Why would anybody come forward in high school if their teachers and their parents and everyone else are woefully ill-trained to handle these allegations? Whenever someone does report it, it usually goes unreported to the police or whatever else happens after that. So in a dating violence blog, it states, while there are mandatory reporting laws in place and require teachers and administrators to report sexual assault allegations told by a student to the police, there is no designated system for how to handle allegations in the first place. And then APnews.com reports, relying on states' education records, supplemented by federal crime data, a year-long investigation by the Associated Press uncovered roughly 17,000 official reports of sexual assault by students over a 4-year period from the fall of 2011 to the spring of 2015. 17,000 in just high schools. So, been talking about all the negatives. What can be the positive? What can prevent these things? What would be the better outcome to help bring awareness to this and bring prevention for this? Teach the students about it. So me in high school, I was in an abusive relationship, mentally, verbally, physically, everything. I was even raped by this boyfriend of mine. I didn't want it. I said no. He still forced it. But I had no idea that I was raped. I had no idea what I was going through because I wasn't taught about it. I learned in a movie or in a show, Law and Order SVU, that I learned that I was raped from a TV show when I should have been taught about it in high school. The same dating violence blog also says, in response to this educational need, the Teach Safe Relationships Act was introduced in February by Senator Claire Catskill and Tim Kaine, requiring that all schools teach sexual education, also sexual assault and dating violence. This bill will come into place soon. So if the schools can make a safe haven for their students before there's a sexual assault to be reported, then those who do become victims have a higher chance of coming forward. If you know about it, if the students know about it, they will come forward. They will say something. In health class that I'm assuming most of us took in high school, you're learning about STDs, and then just sex in general, or other health stuff. And their main goal is to prevent teenage pregnancy and the spread of STDs. Why wouldn't the same be said if you just had a little section in health about sexual assault prevention and awareness? So in conclusion, the statistics of girls and boys who have been sexually assaulted or raped before leaving high school are unimaginably high. But simple education, those same kids that learn about awareness and prevention is the only solution. So what would you do? How would you feel if it was your child that came to you years later telling you that their boyfriend or girlfriend, or that he or she, your child, was sexually assaulted or raped during their high school years and didn't speak up because they simply didn't know?